Good morning, people. YouTube community here. I know I've kind of been MIA. I've been kind of busy since I started my new job. Everything is pretty much going well there. A lot of learning to do, but it is what it is when you start something new. You have to take a little bit of time to learn the material and everything, and it kind of sometimes takes you away from other things that you may want to do. But yeah, that's pretty much how that's going here. Aside from that, this major cold front that we actually have or experiencing right now, is actually snowing in my state of Florida here. It actually, certain parts of town where I am is actually, I guess, experiencing, sleet. But in my neighborhood, it's not really actually doing pretty much any of that at the moment. It's just cold, regular rain, which is fine. Like I said, it doesn't really matter really much to me but I'm just happy the fact that we got the day off here. Let me go take a look outside and actually see how it actually is, okay? So just give me a minute. Yeah, this is what I'm dealing with actually at the moment here. It's not too bad. Like I say, it's just a brisk wind that's going on here. So like I say, everything is fine on my end here. It's so funny to say, but on the other side of town, they're actually experiencing snow flurries and little kind of sleet type of deals. But, I'm perfectly fine with what I got going on right now. You can kind of tell, in a sense, it's kind of strange to say, but you can kind of tell in the sense that it's kind of cold out here because, again, you have the leaves that are rustling, and basically, it's like it's very dreary. And, of course, you have like that overcast in the sky, that cloudy overcast. So for the most part, but yeah. That's pretty much what I'm dealing with at the moment. So, yeah, it is what it is. But I'm just grateful, again, just to have the day off. Good afternoon, people in the YouTube community. I am here to actually do another video here. I know it's been like quite a time. I was kind of like, I guess you could say, MIA, basically, and I have a good reason for that. Is basically I'm still, again, trying to adjust to my new role with my new job and everything. So it's been taking up a lot of my time here, and trying to learn new things, and of course, again, new expectations and all that other type of stuff. So basically, that's pretty much the reason why I have not been posting. I know the last video that I actually made, again, was about a prominent person here on YouTube, and I guess there were some additional developments that was actually left in my comment section that I probably may want to explore later on down the road, if at all, in this upcoming year. So like I say, what I'll do is I'll just kind of put a little thumbtack in that and then revisit it, whenever I feel the need to do so. Basically, again, Happy New Year. I know that this video, again, is a little late, but again, as the saying go, better late than never, So again, Happy New Year's to everyone that chooses to listen to my video. I hope that this year brings you all a lot of love, peace, growth, maturity, just a lot of things, again, that would help us, to better navigate, the challenges that we may face in this upcoming year. I actually wanted to do this video, or felt the need to do this video, because again, as you all know, we actually now have a new president in the seat. Well, not a new president, but you pretty much know what I mean. But basically, there were some things that I actually wanted to talk about in this video. And basically, again, I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts and opinions about it out in the open, because again, as folks know, that I don't actually do videos unless I actually have something that I really want to say. And I have a whole lot of stuff, well, not a whole lot, but a considerable amount of stuff that I want to talk about. And I'm going to include that pretty much right here, so you all can actually get like a visual, pretty most part, on what I'm going to talk about. Basically, if you have to pause the video or whatever, do so, that's fine with me, but I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Of the new president, Trump, for the most part, was actually one of the lowest viewed event as far as the inaugurations go. I think they actually did like a poll, I guess, or someone did, there was a prominent organization that actually did a study, and they actually did, wanted to get a head count for the most part as far as who was actually tuned in to view the inauguration of the incoming president. And it really wasn't viewed as much as past presidents. And again, that's no surprise to me. I can say, and I can speak for myself, I did not actually watch the video or the inauguration for myself because, again, I just really didn't feel that it was an important thing to do. Again, My thing is that I will always say, regardless of who's actually in the seat, politics is a dirty game. People are going to lie. People are going to do whatever they want to do or what they feel they need to do to get into the seat. And again, it's no different than this president. So basically, again, it didn't surprise me when they did a poll and they figured out and found out after their research and all of the numbers were in that there wasn't that many people that actually tuned in to view the inauguration. And basically, you know, it was a bit awkward from what I've seen afterwards. You know, basically I would go and see clips or whatever of what was going on at the inauguration. And there's a lot of things that seem to be out of place, a lot of odd things that that were noticed. And again, and to take it a step further, there was a lot of things that was actually odd even before this inauguration came in, going all the way back to the now deceased Jimmy Carter's funeral, as far as how the past and present presidents, if you will, interacted with each other. You know. Again, there's a clip that's viral that's going around, and like I say, I may post a picture of it or whatever, or put it up here, you know, but basically it's like how the vice president Kamala Harris, well, ex-vice president, you know, depending on when I choose to post the video, but she was actually going in there to actually have her seat, and basically you can tell that it was like a lot of hard feelings still with her as far as her not getting the presidency. And what I will say is that when she went to sit down to take her seat for the funeral, what have you, Trump, who was of course in the back seat, a little in the back and a little to the, you know, further down than her, it looks like he actually was open to, you know, wanting to talk to her. You know, his body language actually looked like he was leaning in and actually was expecting her to at least acknowledge him. She did no such thing. She pretty much looked that way and turned her head and actually pretend like he wasn't even there. You had that to deal with. Then you turn around and had the former President Bush walk right up and walk past Obama. Obama even put his hands out to shake the president or former President Bush as he was walking by. This man purposely did his shoulders like this so he would not even actually have to shake the man's hand, you know, as he took his seat. There's a lot of shadiness that's going on here. And like I say, it's so funny that all of this type of stuff is going on at somebody's funeral. That's to let you know right now that, again, the hearts are not pure. You know, people are still evil. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what type of office you hold. If the heart isn't right, then you already know that what they plan to do as far as, you know, rules and regulations and operations is not going to follow either, because again, it's going to all be rooted from what's in the heart. And even though they're not presidents, you know, anymore or what have you, it lets you know right there that even if they were asked to lead, you know, or to operate something, it wouldn't actually be done pure, because again, the heart is not pure for whatever reason. But again, I digress. But it was just kind of odd, again, going back to the inauguration. And basically, even though I didn't actually see the whole thing, I didn't want to see it or watch it at all, and I didn't. You know, there were news reports of a lot of awkwardness and stuff that was going on there. Basically, again, you know, for things like, you know, when the music that they played there, I guess they was singing something about the Y, you know, let's go to the Y, you know, the YMCA type of thing. Now, I know that type of music was actually from the 70s and stuff. You know, I was born in the 70s, but basically that was something I felt that was very out of place and odd to actually have at an inauguration. And then to sit up there and watch this man, I guess, call himself dance and doing one of these numbers. You know how he does. He does one of these numbers right here. You know, it was kind of odd. And then his buddy Elon Musk, you know, trying to do his thing. No rhythm at all. I'm just going to put it out there. You know, no rhythm at all. not trying to pick on anybody, but no rhythm at all. And basically just trying to see, and just watching them two just look like complete idiots. It's like they're out of their element. Now, again, it doesn't matter that Trump actually, served as president years ago. I still feel that he's out of his element. That's just me talking. Like I say, I'm allowed to have an opinion and I'm going to express it, and I don't care who gets offended. You already should know that. But again, it was just, very odd. And again, another thing that was actually odd about, the inauguration is that when he was actually there to hold his hand and swear and take the oath of office, he never actually touched the Bible. I think there's a picture somewhere floating on the internet of him actually when he was actually, swearing in or what have you for the oath of office. This man never touched the Bible at all. He never did. So it's the little things that I really look at and really pay attention to that's going to determine what this man really believes. This man does not believe in God. I don't care how much this man sits up there and may actually mention God or whatever throughout his presidency. This man here represents, again, one of the end time figures as the Antichrist. That's what I believe. It doesn't matter what anybody else believes, because there are certain things that are going in place. And again, that, and it aligns, I should say, well with the events of the end times. Look at what happened with TikTok. TikTok was actually, down or suspended for a couple of hours this past weekend. And basically, everybody was looking at Trump to save TikTok. Well, Trump, what he did is that he actually extended TikTok, the usage, for 90 days. Now, news reports are saying that he cannot sign it again or extend it again because, again, that's not allowed. So basically, he extended the use of TikTok for another 90 days, 3 months. And basically, everybody wants to give praise to him as if he saved people's careers and everything, and their livelihood by using that platform or extending the usage. Basically, what they're saying here is that TikTok is actually, worth a lot of money, so much so that there's very few people that can actually afford to buy it to keep it in use in America. So even though Trump actually extended the use of TikTok, there are experts that are saying that for the most part, it is inevitable, again, that it is going to be removed. So basically, in my sense, and I'm glad that I don't actually use these online platforms as a means of income. I have a real job, a 9-to-5 job. But for those that are actually using these platforms such as YouTube and, Instagram and all these other type of things to make money, to me, it's telling you, okay, get your affairs in order and do all that you can now to make preparations to move on to something else. So when that plug is eventually pulled and cannot be redone, you'll have somewhere else already, you'll already be established somewhere else. Basically is what, I'm getting at. But basically, it's all about, again, he wanting praise and wanting people to worship him for, I guess, him essentially, quote unquote, saving their lives, saving their livelihoods. And I'm sitting up there looking at and just listening to some of these testimonials that is going on the platform, and people are really going crazy with their praises. Weird things that's going on here for the most part. There are some things, again, that is being enforced that I will have to say that I don't have any problem with agreeing with Trump on. Again, I'm not an avid supporter of Trump, but again, there are some things that that are immediately implementing on day one that I feel that, it could lead to, it has some merit to it. I'll put it that way. Now, there's an issue that I want to talk about, regarding child support. Basically, the rules are being changed now where it actually, in my opinion, actually favors the man, where it actually push for couples to really be in communication with one another as far as, as opposed to what used to be where it was all about what the woman said. You know what I mean? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a rule now with the child support where if a woman puts a man on child support, or, the man puts the woman on child support, however it goes, but we pretty much know for the most part here in America, it's always mostly women putting the men on child support. What's going to happen is that they can go ahead and do so, but they cannot claim that child for child tax credits, meaning that they cannot get a big refund because, again, you put this man on child support. So that basically means that you give up your right to claim this child on your taxes. So basically, I believe and I think that idea is genius, because you have a lot of females, again, not all, but a lot of females, especially in the black communities, baby mamas, that are actually putting these men, hardworking men, these honest men, on child support. And basically, in years past, they actually had this man basically literally by his balls, if you will. His balls was actually in their purses, where they can control everything as far as what the man can do, what the man can't do, how he can function financially. So now the rules are, again, you can go ahead and put the dude or whoever you want on child support, but again, you cannot claim them on your taxes. The man can, because basically he is taking care of it. Basically, he is showing through the courts that he is providing financially for that child. So he can claim them on this tax return, but the woman can't. I think that is genius. And again, what I think it is doing, it is forcing couples or people who don't want to talk to each other but wants the money, is forcing them to sit down and talk things out to see if child support is really, the answer to the ongoing issue. You have a lot of women that actually try to control the man or get back at a man when he's moved on to go into another relationship. She threatens to put him on child support just so, he can be miserable, even though he may have moved on to a relationship with another woman. Evil women, the ones who really are vindictive, will use the child support as a tactic to try to control the man. But like I say, now tables are starting to turn. So now they're having to really think twice before they do that. I think that is genius. You also have an issue with the food stamp. Basically Trump is coming through and making and pretty much assigning an executive order, making sure that basically if you're able-bodied, you need to be working, not collecting food stamps. Now, again, there may be instances where, a household may, continue to collect food stamps, but if that's the case, they will only be able to collect them, 90 days at a time. So I think, again, that is, I think it's needed, but I can see that there's going to be a lot of pushback for that, because again, there's going to be some loopholes that needs to be worked out, to figure out what's going on. Now, basically what's going on here, and from what I've seen, is that Trump is actually coming in office like he did the last time, because he has something that he wants to, he has something that he wants to prove. He's going back and undoing everything that was signed into law by President Biden. His first day in office, he's repealing or rescinding everything for the most part that Joe Biden had in office, basically. Because again, he wants to make sure that he doesn't want to leave any traces of what Biden left in the office. He wants to come in with his new administration and he wants to pretty much wipe everything clean. So now everything is all about him and his administration. Like I say, some people may look at that as a good thing. And like I say, with some policies and procedures or what have you, I agree, some of it is good. But overall, I think it's going to turn more into an ego thing. Just like with the last time that he was in office. It was all about him making his mark, wanting people to bow down to him. And basically, again, just like the Antichrist that's mentioned in the book of Revelation, we have to be careful because, again, of what the tactics that are being used for the sole purpose of us submitting to him, bowing down and worshiping him. And I refuse to do that. My God, I'm not going to do that. Again, the Lord told us in his word that he, has a ram in a bush for his people. And the thing about it, again, is that for us not to be afraid. And again, for us to still stand tall and still remain faithful to him. So even though Trump is coming in with his policies and everything to benefit him and his kind, like I say, it doesn't matter. God still has my back. All right. Now, this next issue here that I want to talk about is the LGBT, inclusion programs and all this other type of stuff that corporations actually had that, for the most part, that was used to bring respect, or if you will, to the alternative lifestyles, for the gay lifestyle, the lesbians, the trans community, and all this other type of stuff. So basically, he's actually came in and signed an executive order to put an end to those type of programs. So basically, for the most part, is where, America is only going to recognize two genders. And I agree, male and female. Now, you've already had some protesters already out there in the cold that are out there protesting that they're going to sue and do all of these other type of things, because again, they feel that it's unfair and all these other type of things. What I will say is that the LGBTQ community has always used one of the main things, as far, I guess they use emotion for the longest time to push their agenda. And see, just like anything else, you can only do that only for so long where, your emotions is going to fall on deaf ears. Now, at his inauguration, or actually not even at his inauguration, actually at Jimmy Carter's funeral, there was, I guess, a bishop that was clearly a woman that supports the gay lifestyle that was trying to tell him to reconsider a lot of the policies that that are to be enforced, and to really to rethink a lot of things that he's doing, because again, it's going to, for the most part, silence what their agenda is. Trump sat there and listened to everything that the woman had to say, but he later pretty much issued a statement of his own. And again, I don't know what, I'm not going to read it word for word or whatever, but basically he pretty much said that, for the most part, and I'm paraphrasing, that how dare she pretty much get up there and say all this, that, and the other. He's still going to do what he wants to do. He's still going to go ahead and go along with the program as far as eliminating their cause, basically. And like I say, right now, it doesn't matter what type of reasonings you give or go to him with, he's going to shut it down. If it doesn't align with his purpose, it doesn't matter how common sense like it is, he's going to shut it down, because again, it doesn't go with, again, along the lines of what his agenda is, or what it's going to be for these next couple of 4 years. A lot with what he was saying, for the most part. And again, politics, as I mentioned before, is a nasty game. It is what it is. It's full of trickeries, false hopes, and all these other type of things. But he's looking at it from a financial standpoint, that this is his chance to get some extra money in his pocket, to, for the most part, go out there and make his money. And see, one thing about it, I will say this, that the Bible tells us to put our trust in no man. People have a way of flip-flopping once they see that dollar. And see, one thing about it, again, is that, the fact that you actually sit there and have these two people who are supposed to be all about the black community, especially Snoop Dogg. I think it was some years back, he actually said something about, he would never actually be a part of Trump's, regime or something like that, and that he would never actually attend an inauguration or something like that. It was some sort of clip of him saying that. But all of a sudden now, years later, to even have them to even entertain the notion that they would do it's very funny. It's very funny. But now, like I say, they are accepting backlash from the R&B community. Some people are in agreement with him, hey, he does what he wants or whatever. And some people are saying that, they're looking at him as a sellout. Do I agree with that? Like I say, it is what it is. All I would say is this, you just have to be careful who you praise and who you have as a spokesperson for you.
Not political for me. For me, the political part is over. It's not political for me. For me, the political part is over. He won. And, growing up, I was taught to respect the office. So, Nelly's here.
And you did get a little backlash, but you were like, whatever, I don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. This is, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you were really cool about it. You handled it well. You came forward and you talked about it. A lot of people wouldn't do that. Why did you come forward and talk about it?
Well, because I think it's important that, we showed some people have their own opinions about things, and sometimes things can get a little bit hazy and in a way that everybody feels the same way about everything. And that's just not it. I think certain people have an outlook. And I've always believed that you got to walk through the fire sometimes to get results. And regardless of what you feel about it, we as a people, and I mean, my heritage as far as, it's not political in African American, we've always had to work with people that we may not have always agreed with to get things done. And I think that struggle continues. But at the end of the day, if the men and women of this country can put their life on the line for a president that they may not have voted for, I can definitely perform for the office.
Like I say, I don't trust none of them. None of them can speak for me. Like I say, the only person that would speak for me is me. So, like I say, as far as them actually backpedaling and going and performing at this man's inauguration, it doesn't surprise me. It's just funny that it actually happened. Because again, once you wave that mighty dollar in front of people, people tend to change, you know, and sometimes they don't change for the better. But again, I just want to kind of get out there and just kind of put this video out there, you know, to let you know all that, again, that we're still alive and kicking in 2025, you know, and basically, again, you know, that these were just some things that I want to kind of talk to you all about, you know, to kind of get this out in the open, to try to let people know, you know, what's going on in society, both from a natural standpoint, but most importantly from a spiritual standpoint. That's all that I actually have for now. And again, I'll see you all in the next video.